Today we are talking about menopause. Hey there, chosen ones. Danielle Karen 999 here. Welcome to my channel. All my new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. All my existing subscribers, welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell and also share this with your friends. Today, we are talking about menopause. Let's talk about it. Okay, y'all. So I think I am in perimenopause. Ah, sometimes I forget I turned 50 this year, and it's just like it reminds me. It reminded me this year. So a couple of months ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, I started experiencing some perimenopausal symptoms. And I didn't know that's what they were, but I'm going to talk about them here. And if you have been experiencing perimenopause or menopausal symptoms, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know, let the community know what it is that you do to combat these, these symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. I'd really like to hear what you've been doing. And I'm going to give you some of my what I've been doing, some of my strategies. So the first sign that I saw that I was in perimenopause, well, there was a couple of them, but the first one was that I had my menstruation twice in 1 month, and it happened to me in the month of October, and it was so, and forgive me for being graphic, but it was so heavy. And I was having cramps. I never had cramps. I've had my menstruation since I was 12 years old. Never really had cramps like that. I used to have friends that would take time off from school, even when we were in school, because their menstruation was so heavy and they had such bad cramps, vomiting, and things like that. I never had menstruation like that, ever, ever, ever. And in the month of October, I felt it coming on. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got cramps. Like, I had really bad cramps. And then it came. And when it came, oh my goodness, the flow was so heavy. I was going through so many pads in a day. I had never had my menstruation so heavy before. And so, and then when it finally left, I was so glad. Because I'm like, wow, what was that? It was heavy. It was intense. And then like a week and a half later, I had it again. I couldn't believe I had it again. I couldn't believe it came again. Is that something that's part of perimenopause or menopause? Well, I know menopause, you don't have your period for a year. And I haven't gotten to that stage yet. So this is like the perimenopause. 2 periods in 1 month. It was awful. And it came with the cramps. It came with the back pain. Like, I just was experiencing everything that I've heard other women talk about that I've never experienced before. And with that, with the perimenopause, on top of the 2 menstruations in a month, mood swings. Mood swings. I was having the lowest lows. I was feeling depressed, down, just felt like, what was the meaning of life? Feeling like I'm just not doing enough. And even if I do anything, like, what's the purpose? Like, I was really feeling down, feeling like there was no real meaning to my existence. And yeah, it was very low. The thoughts was like, it wasn't like unaliving myself thoughts. It wasn't those types of thoughts. It was just like, what's the use kind of thought. Like, what's the bother? What's the bother? Why bother? It was those kind of thoughts. Like, why bother? This is not going to change anything anyway. It's meaningless, right? So that went into, why get out the bed? Like, what am I going to get out the bed for? What's there to do? Am I going to the gym? For what? It was really like, who cares kind of thing. And I do not like feeling like that, but that's how I was feeling. It was a low feeling. So that was the second thing that I noticed. And the third thing I noticed was brain fog. Brain fog. So you may have thoughts, right? You're thinking about saying something, then but you forget. You forget what you want to say. The thoughts don't come to your, like your mind and your mouth is not in sync. It's like you want to say something, but you can't think of what you want to say, or you can think it, but it's not coming out. It was weird. So one of the things, so this is a remedy that I have for you. If you're experiencing brain fog, or memory loss, you can take, what I've been taking is lion mane mushroom and reishi mushrooms. I've been taking that, and it's good for brain fog, focus, memory, and stuff like that. It works really, really well. I should have had the bottle with me, but actually there's some. It's called Fresh Cap, and there's some different mushrooms all in there. So it's more than reishi and lion's mane. It's a couple of mushrooms that are combined in those capsules, and it's really, really good for brain fog. It's good for focus. That's another thing. I felt like I had like kind of like an ADD, like I couldn't focus. I just felt scattered all over the place. So even when I was working, if I'm working from home doing paperwork, I would get so distracted, like I didn't want to do it. I don't know if that was part of perimenopause. If it is, if everything I'm saying to you, if this is something that you've experienced, if you've been going through menopause, tell me if this is something, if this is part of it. I had to talk to my older sister. She's 56. Um, and I spoke to her about this. I said, sis, I think I'm going through menopause. She was like, well, join the club. She's been almost a year without her period, but I don't think she's gone a whole year. So, so I guess kind of people in my family kind of go through a little late because she's 56 and she still hasn't gone a whole year yet. But she did tell me about the memory loss. She told me about the, you go in one room and forget why you're there. I'm like, oh Lord. The only thing I didn't have, so this is what I didn't have. I didn't have hot flashes. I don't have hot flashes. I think one day I had a hot flash. I was getting ready. I was going to a sip and paint. I was getting dressed and everything. Took a shower. I was getting dressed. But I just think it was just kind of warm outside, so I was warm inside. So I can't really gauge that because it only happened once. So I don't know if that was a hot flash and I just got really hot. Like, oh gosh, I was sweating. I had to take off all them clothes because it was just too much. And then come to find out, even when I did go outside, it wasn't as cold outside as I thought it was. So I don't know if that was a hot flash. But hopefully, knock on wood, I don't get any hot flashes. I saw a video of this lady. She was a bald-headed lady on social media, and the steam was literally coming out of her head. She didn't have any hair. She was bald-headed, and they said she was having a hot flash. You literally saw the steam coming out of her head. That's crazy. That's how hot she was inside. Whew. I don't look forward to that. I pray I don't get that. So that's one thing I didn't have. Number 4 of something that I did have, aches and pains. Hip pain, back pain. Now, I recently just had a car accident. But before I had the car accident, I was still having like these little bits of pain, like where my hips are, underneath my buttocks. So in the morning, it's like I had to stretch more. I feel like I'm not as flexible as I used to be. I used to be very flexible. Now I'm not as flexible, so now I have to do a lot of leg lifts, and I'm just trying to keep that flexibility, bending over, trying to touch my toes, but it's not as easy as it used to be. Before I would just jump up and touch my toes and put my legs up. Like I had no problems putting my legs up to my head and things like that, putting on my pants. Now when I put on my pants and I have to like bend down a little bit. It's weird. Like I don't have the flexibility that I used to have. I do not have the flexibility that I used to have. And I think it's stemming from like my buttocks is tight, and my buttocks and my back underneath, it's like underneath where my butt is, it's tightened. I don't know. And there's some pain down there. So I don't know if that's part of perimenopause. I'm not sure. But those are the 4 things that I have been experiencing. It's just not been great. I mean, I'm not experiencing it right now, but I'm going to say for like the month of October, it was terrible. Like I was on an emotional roller coaster, the mood swings, the painful periods, the loss of just motivation, and just that loss of interact. I didn't. Oh, another thing, number 5. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I felt very isolated. I wanted to isolate. I didn't want to be bothered with anybody, and I kept my phone on do not disturb. I know that's like extreme, and my family was calling me like, "What's going on with you?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't want to be bothered. So maybe that goes along with having a feeling towards life, but I did not want to be bothered. My mood was just so low. I didn't want to be bothered, and I didn't want to bother anybody with my how I was feeling either. Like I didn't want to complain. So that kept me from talking to people, which you probably shouldn't do. I wouldn't recommend that because your family, they're there for you and they want to. And I didn't want to lash out at anybody because I was feeling kind of like so I didn't want to lash out at anybody. I just kind of stuck to myself. But that was a rough month. October was a rough month for me. And it's November now as I'm filming this video. Don't know when I'm going to upload it, but it's the end of November today. I think it's November 30th. Hopefully going forward, it'll be better for me. If not, somebody was telling me today, because I was talking to my friend about it. She's like, they have hormones and things like that. I don't know if I want to do hormone therapy. That's not something, I've never been a person to take like drugs, prescription drugs and things like that. Even though now I'm on blood pressure medication because my blood pressure went up a little bit. So, but other than that, I take vitamins. I take vitamins, natural remedies. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted. But please leave me a comment down below if you are experiencing perimenopause or menopauses for my 40 plus people, 50 plus. Ladies, please share your experiences down below so I know what to expect. I know everybody's body is different. Every woman is different. But we still share some commonalities, and I just would like for this to be a safe space for people to come and see, what they can get out of the comment section, so that it can help them. And hopefully, this video helped you, and it lets you know that you're not alone, and it helps me feel like I'm not alone, and we have each other. We're in this together, ladies. This is something that we can't escape. Some of us have it easier than others. But let's talk about it. Menopause. Let's talk about it. We have to talk about it. Otherwise, we will suffer in silence, which is something that we don't want to do. All right, my friends. I love you. Have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and light.